The mission statement framework is a goal-setting framework. It's space for you to write down your long-term goals and figure out a plan of action to get you there. The first step is defining your goal, and a good way to do this is to use the SMART philosophy: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. An example of a SMART goal is run the Melbourne Marathon in October 2021. The next step is to list down all the reasons why you want to pursue this goal. It's really important to get clear on your why so that you can flick back to it whenever you feel that flicker of resistance and you kind of want to quit. This is going to be your source of motivation, your fuel to keep going. So have a think about why this particular goal is worth your time and energy. Consider the short-term benefits as well as the long-term benefits. If we look at the example of running the Melbourne Marathon, you might want to do this because it gives you an incentive to be active throughout the week. You might really want to improve your fitness and stamina. You might want to make new friends in the neighborhood, and this will be the perfect opportunity to join local running groups. You might want to raise awareness for mental health. You know that your confidence will improve when you start to see progress, so this might be a major source of motivation. And you might want to feel that sense of pride, that sense of accomplishment when you cross the finish line. The next step is to debunk your fears. We all know that fears can get in the way between us and our goals. It can prevent us from moving forward and making progress on our goals. So we've included 4 journaling prompts to help you work through any fears that might be holding you back. The first question is, what are some worst case scenarios that could result from pursuing this mission, and how likely are they to occur? If you're running a marathon, the thing you fear most might be injuring your knee or your ankle. The reason why it's really good to get these fears out on paper is because we can work through them logically. When they are swimming around in our heads, it can be very overwhelming and consuming. The second question is, what practical steps can you take to prevent these outcomes? When you enter that problem-solving mindset, it becomes clear that there are many things you can do to prevent or repair the damage. It becomes clear that there are many viable pathways to achieving your goal. If we take the worst case scenario example of injuring your knee or ankle, some of the things you can do to prevent this from happening are things like stretching before and after your runs, investing in the best runners, listening to your body, pacing yourself, and if you experience any minor injuries, getting them treated immediately. The third question is, if the worst happens, what practical steps can you take to repair the damage? In this particular example, it might be seeing the required specialist, doing some sort of rehab, maybe even surgery. The point is, regardless of the worst case scenario, there are always solutions. And we tend to forget that when we just focus on the fear and let it consume and overwhelm us. The fourth question is, what will your life look like in 12 months if you decide to abandon this mission? This is drawing attention to all the things that you could be potentially missing out on if you let those fears hold you back. Once you've worked through the worst case scenario, the next step is to develop a plan of action. What do you need to do to achieve your goal? What steps do you need to take to get from where you are now to accomplishing your mission? You can use this space to write broader steps or specific to-dos with realistic target dates so that you can prioritize your time accordingly. This section links back to your mission in progress section, which you will find on every pre-week planner. So what you can do is look at your steps and figure out what to-dos you want to tackle this week and schedule them in. The next section is called Celebrate. This is space for you to write down how you want to celebrate and reward yourself. It might be going to a fancy restaurant or treating yourself to a spa day, but it's really important to celebrate your wins and make sure that you reward yourself for all your hard work. Lastly, we've also added space for you to set some milestones because at the end of the day, it is not just about crossing the finish line. It's about celebrating your wins and acknowledging your progress along the way. So have a think about what those milestones might look like and write them down in this space. You can then use a colored pencil or a highlighter to shade in each milestone. It's really nice to have that visual display of your progress, reminding you how far you've come.